What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about SoundHound. I want to go over some of the data points, break it down what's moving it, and why SoundHound is doing relatively okay in comparison to the broader market. So I want to go over all the things that you need to know, but first make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So SoundHound is down 2.77%, 786 the low, 849 the high. So I've seen a lot of people post about SoundHound wondering what the hell is happening. So when it comes down to what's causing so much kind of volatility in the market, it's because of the tariffs. So at the end of the day, a lot of those tariffs indirectly are going to affect consumers' buying power. So that's what's bringing the market down, even though, let's say, a lot of stocks out there might not be directly correlated with tariffs. So ultimately, it's consumers' buying power. But SoundHound's a unique scenario because their whole purpose is to increase efficiency. There's a lot of videos and stuff that's floating around, even this, a good kind of instructive video on what SoundHound does. Good demo. I'm not going to play this for you, but I can add this to the description so you can kind of view it on your own. But at the end of the day, SoundHound is there to increase efficiency. Yes, their consumers will get hit by obviously the buying power or lack thereof, but at the end of the day, SoundHound is very unique. And I've brought this up over the last little bit, and yeah, honestly, I think SoundHound, even though it's not getting that crazy level of buying coming from institutions or anything today, it's still not really being seen as a sell. So these are all the transactions occurring so far on the secondary market above $100,000. So unfortunately, a good chunk of them are sells, but like I said, big money isn't really selling it at the same magnitude as the broader market. So I think just people might be seeing SoundHound as somewhat as a value play, if that somewhat makes sense. As far as news, there hasn't been all that much. A lot of articles coming out about lawsuits, and that's just because of SoundHound's recent earnings. They do state that there's material weakness, and so again, that's not necessarily the best. So I think a lot of kind of ambulance chasers are piggybacking and targeting that. So we'll kind of have to wait and see how this all does play out. But aside from that, though, you'll also see shorts. So they're not really doing all that much. Right now, they're increasing 547,000 shares. 32.45% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 116.42 million shares overall are being shorted. So when it comes down to shorts, they normally increase like significantly and then they kind of taper off. Even right now, it looks like they've returned a little bit more. So now it's only 488,000 being increased. So at the end of the day, SoundHound, I think, is very close to the bottom. So that's just my viewpoint, of course. Some people might disagree with me on that, but looking at the options, 1.83 million in calls, 887,000 in puts. And based on this, you do see 53% of all the options being done today are optimistic in nature. So that hands down is a complete 180 from what is happening with the broader market right now. So like I said, SoundHound is somewhat being seen as a good value play. Based on the call options that are being purchased, you see a consensus for it to be roughly around that 950. Bears are anticipating for it to be sub roughly 750 to 8. So as far as a risk versus reward standpoint, there is a little bit more upside clearly anticipated. And right now, though, with it at $8.45, it is trading between this pivot and this S1. So $7.69 is a strong support. So far, it hasn't been touched today, and I don't think it will because obviously SoundHound and many other stocks are starting to recover. Flip side, $9.18 is going to be the next strong target, and I don't see similarly that being touched whatsoever today. But on the actual chart itself, there is no actually on, while I'm actually on IBKR, there isn't any new analyst ratings. There's no news, like nothing substantial about it. Even on SoundHound right over here, there's not really much that they are bringing up. So they kind of brought up this more article, and that's about SoundHound's Ben, whatever that last name is. I'm not going to butcher it. And then this recent video, so they did repost that. But yeah, they've been rather radio silent. I've brought that up in the past. So prior to April the 1st, last kind of thing that they did talk on or post was on March the 25th. I don't know if it is associated to this right here, who is the new chief information officer. So maybe they are being a little bit more restrictive on their marketing and stuff like that. So we'll just have to wait and see. But again, going back over here for a second on the actual chart itself, so you can kind of see that it is, well, once it loads, but yeah, as you can kind of see, it is right now still below that 200-day moving average. So that is sitting at $8.68, that yellow line, if you can kind of see that. Last couple of trading days, it did have a lot of good momentum. Same as yesterday, it was rather defying the market, and it went up very, very fast. I think a high of like $9 and change. But unfortunately, market did kind of pull it down a little bit. But 200-day moving average, $8.68, that's going to be a key one to really get over in the short term. Stochastic RSI, on a side note, is considered very oversold, so I think that's actually working in SoundHound's favor right now. So let me know your general thoughts on that. If SoundHound, for whatever reason, is able to close above that 200-day moving average, let's say either today or tomorrow, then you could see a fairly nice recovery. A lot of individuals are under the assumption that today's massive bloodbath in the market is essentially the low, at least for this week. So we'll just have to wait and see. At the end of the day, a lot of people are trying to correlate what is happening now to the past, but I feel like they are neglecting on a lot of key attributing points, like from now, this type of current market that we're in compared to like the dirty 30s as what people are looking at. Massive difference. So yeah, always do your own due diligence at the end of the day. But let me know your general thoughts on SoundHound. Do you still like it? Do you still buy it? Do you do anything with it? I myself haven't done anything with SoundHound for quite some time. I've just been kind of watching it. If it does get to, for instance, that 750 range, that's where I'll be a buyer again. But aside from that, I'm just kind of enjoying the ride for the most part. So let me know your thoughts on SoundHound. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. If you are looking for good buy signals on stocks, options, and crypto, definitely pop over to my Patreon, link in the description below and also the comments. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.